2v3
Asharo,
here. Scout doesn't have TP, and the spear lands as well.
Asharo
incoming. Zucker goes for the slicing maelstrom, but he can't quite clear the wave. And now the dive is underway. Breathe, trying to tank as the true shot barrage goes right between all of the Weibo members. Zucker down to 100 HP. The ward underneath the tower. The wave stalled. Tarzan smites for his spear, flashes to take a bite out of Zucker. And now Breathe moves in, hung alone under the tower, and another spear lands. Tarzan's already 1,000 gold ahead.
Avidly at this point, they would quite like their gold here and now to make sure they can start pulling some plays back of their own.
Tarzan lands yet another spear on a dive, and the CC, the slows coming through, make it so much easier to land those javelins. Gala almost stunned. The wave arrives though. Buys a reprieve. No, it doesn't. Tarzan weaves it between the minions. Tarzan just can't miss. Gala dodges, keeps himself alive as Weiwei arrives, and Hung tries to set up the play. Crisp is there, Trisha barrage is good, but the damage isn't there just yet. Weibo finally fall as Scout arrives to pick up the pieces.
It is some kills back. Scout gets to...
If they can make a move over. Tarzan, he wants to contest, but he's a little bit late to the party. And now he's in the back of the pit. Looks like Weibo want to fight, but I don't think that's a fight that they should really be taking. TP coming through, but Tarzan's already gone. Weibo, what was that of a contest? It's a disaster for them, and now Zucker is on a perfect flank with slicing Maelstrom. Xiaohu ults himself out, but Breed will be sacrificed. LNG, they get the Herald, they get 3 on top.
What are Weibo thinking there? What is Tarzan thinking there? And all of the Xiaohu's going to chunk him down. He doesn't have ult. He doesn't really have a way out of this one. That should be a death. The Herald's coming through. LNG, turn it on.
I feel like the early game shot calling was so good. And the call there was just send it. And boy, did they send it towards LNG. They've sent this game gift wrapped. As LNG now soar ahead with the 2
for the better, but his team wasn't in position to respond at all, and Weibo, they bite off more than they can shoot. So Weibo, they are going to get themselves their own first turret, but LNG took that one just before. LNG. So, what do you have here to fight from Weibo? You don't have that arrow, that's one of your big things. Xiaohu not in position. Looks like Weibo, they're giving up on the objectives, and they're going towards top side of set. But now the problem is, you still are again Scout with a boatload of gold, people in his lane. And once again, LNG, they are finding the Nemesis, and they're going in towards bot lane with the ult.
I love this vibe pick. This is how you find kills. This is how you make the action happen. Can Weibo answer? Some spears coming through from Tarzan. He's out of mana, though. And the tower's going to go down in the bottom side. More gold into Scout's pocket. We saw what Knight did yesterday on Corki. Scout is looking to replicate.
Oh, here comes Breathe.
TP comes in. Breathe now. Let's see this Nasus pop off. Zucker, good damage onto 2 here. Tarzan dives in, but that lightning rat's got damage, and Zucker wins 2v1. Zucker finds them both.
Danger! High voltage! Zucker 3 kills on the board. Breathe might be able to chase him down. He already killed Hung on the other side. He's going to try and chase this. I don't think he catches him though, and Gala might even be able to turn around already. LNG! What a phaser play!
Zucker even gets loco gold.
Get towards these side lanes. As soon as they get towards that, they love taking around these side lanes, and they're starting to use that to get so much damage. This is after, of course, a lot of the first players already happened. Zucker does have a lot of damage to the Leandries already, and this is a huge overestimation from Crisp and Tarzan. Zucker gets away with a level 2
ult. Of playoffs at this point, that would be Weibo very much informed to make it to World's Finals. So maybe just setting up for that. I don't know, weird first game. Actually 1v4 on the bottom side. He's doing what all good split pushers do, and he's sort of not really pushing, he's split defending. As the rest of Weibo start the Baron. It's been spotted. And yeah, I think Weibo realised this ain't the play. Zucker spotted though, and this time the arrow hits, this time the combo's there, and this time Weibo find their pick.
Alright, LNG, they move everyone towards bots wide side of LNG. So LNG, look, they're still in the driving seat here. They have the objectives, they have Weiwei with a real point of power now as well. I'm really interested in his build too, gone towards the sun issue if he gets himself into the backline. As it stands, he stays bot side and he's going to completely wail on this turret.
Yeah, I mean, he's okay with not flanking as well. He's quite happy to just sit in the side lane. 2v1 though. Not sitting alone in the side lane, unfortunately for Breed. Nearly manages to finish Scout with just 2 Qs, but he will go down in the end.
To kite everyone a lot easier, which is nastier for the Nastus. And before that, there's also the Baron up too. LNG, they have all of the room in the world, all of the vision in the world, start forcing around the objectives.
Another trying to find the spear. Zucker on the top side, and there we go, all onto Breathe. Follow-up is there as well as Chris just trying to survive the opposite side of the play. Breathe down, and LNG find themselves a pick once again. Weiwei wants to turn it into more. He's looking for that flank, but instead, escorting the wave on the top side. LNG can just break it in him tower.
Easy as you like. They've still got 40 seconds till the Dragon. It's not like they're late towards the spawn of that either. Great target selection from Weiwei. Gets right onto Breathe with no one able to really help him out. Weibo are going to answer with the mid lane outer turret, but Weibo are the ones reacting now. They are the ones which are behind the map, unless Tarzan goes to cheeky steal. Does have himself Flash, does have himself Seekers. Is he going to be allowed anywhere near this one?
He's got free entry on the bottom side right now, while the rest of Weibo try and spar with LNG, but Gala's got some damage, so has Scout, and Weibo are feeling it. Xiaohu moves in immediately, ults blasted towards him. Scout's got the DPS, but Xiaohu still survives for the time being. Weiwei about to go down, but Tarzan forced away. Weiwei in the back of the pit. Scout gets one, and the rest of the fight won by LNG. Scout gets another, but Breathe trying to take over. The dog's got teeth, but unfortunately, he's got no bark.
Breathe can't quite get it done. Gala fells him. And LNG, they might even not stop for the Dragon. They were thinking about ending the game. They do decide to have a little bit of discretion there and make sure they get themselves that salt. They don't think they can end the game through bot lane, but honestly, the fight might just be the death knell for Weibo all the same. It is a lot for a late game fight. He gets so much DPS off, and yeah, Breathe manages to get some really good damage off at the end of this, and I think the double tenacity works out really well from him.
He's somehow managing to survive each and every single one of these fights. He's had a fantastic game on what has to be just described as an off-meta jungler.
So, when we put onto the scoreboard of who's winning in this mid-jungle 2v2, LNG getting the better of it right now. Another arrow into Hung.
Slicing Maelstrom's pretty huge, though. Xiaohu goes straight into it, and Zinka even survives. Light annihilated as Breathe tries to get into the backside, but it's just not enough. He's sent back to the kennel. Tarzan back in his box as he's pooped on the carpet again. It's 64,000 gold to 53. It's a 10k gold lead. It's LNG. I mean, they've sort of made this first one look easy.
Weibo, they had the early game, but they had nothing more than the first 12 minutes. LNG in front of their...
But Weibo are all roaming around behind the tower here as they're looking towards the Gromp. Weiwei doesn't have any vision for the time being, and Hung tries to make up for that fact, but Weiwei moves in. It's going to be a smite off between Tarzan and Weiwei. Tarzan wins it, but there's the engaged double knockup, and Hung already so low. Gala arriving, but he's too late as Weiwei knocks straight in, and there's a snipe from Light as well. LNG answered here in game number 2 as Gala likely to fall. Xiaohu's killing Scout on the other side of the play. It's absolutely monstrous from Weibo.
Weiwei had the better clear speed, Weibo had the better... So, do we want to talk about the creative macro again? Because it turns out Weibo had a bit of an answer to that. So they moved their AD carry away for that lane, and Weibo go, alright, we're not letting you get back towards bot lane. They put traps in the easy bushes, that's an engage.
Hung is trying to beat the tank for his team, but he just cannot survive this early Jhin damage. I'm trying to point out as well, doesn't have enough damage to finish the job.
I think he was mainly just looking to get wave control and a good trade. It's one of those things where you realize you're not getting the kill, but you get some HP advantages, and in this case, you even force Zuck at the back as well. So that's, I'm willing to call that a decent play for Breathe to sort out his top lane. This lane has been left on an island. Credit to Breathe for keeping up in CS, actually. We did say that doesn't really do much. And that's because he's into a load of tanks, but I think this game's much better.
Scout could be in trouble here. Xiaohu, if he can land a Foss bomb, finish the job, but Hung moves into the play as Weiwei moves up to the top side. Tarzan here to answer Breathe. Doesn't have Slicing Maelstrom for 5 more seconds, but Zika stunned under the tower, and it's 1-for-1. Weiwei takes another shot as Gala's here to grab some plates.
Funny flipping in the early game, and then Light would occasionally just put on the backpack and sigh and start picking up the slack after that point. Get some damage here onto Zucker undeterred. Light has just been the safe pair of hands for this team. Maybe less of a carry this year. Breathe focused on again, clearing the way.
Scout almost in turret range there, but throws a bit of lightning back towards Breathe, and now with the sleep coming into play as well from Weiwei, maybe they can finish the job. Look at that burst. Tarzan looks to respond in the bottom side as he gets roots down, but doesn't have any damage to follow up because Hung's kept Xiaohu busy.
So LNG, they get another kill on a side lane. This time it's not responded to, but they're still not answering Light on the other side. They're They're avoiding the Jhin. They do not want to deal with this champion right now. I understand why. 2,000 gold.
At all costs in this one. I've got to say,
that's great.
Scout kind of smells like garlic sometimes, but that's a whole different story. Oh no, that wouldn't be him. Vampires don't typically smell like garlic. Nightmare. I've messed up my gothic lore.
Well, no, I suppose.
Hang on.
Talk about the fight, Joe.
Yeah, I'm coming back to reality here as Zika gets the classic play, the double solo lanes. This time it's on to LNG. Zika goes down.
Yeah. So
all that good stuff. It's you know, it certainly feels nice to play. Breathe, trying to keep way away. Way away. Say that 4 times faster.
Yeah.
Today. I thought maybe Weibo would be trying to throw some punches at LNG. LNG sped up a lot as a team this year. Earlier on in the year, they were the slowest team in the world.
Yeah, there you go.
Here we go.
Fight!
Weibo going to throw some punches. Crisp the one to throw the first as Tarzan here gets engaged back on. Gala's here and the sleep with the bullet time. Tarzan's woken up and flashes away. Breathe though! What an angle! What an angle from Breathe. No kills come on through and Weiwei somehow gets out with his life. Hung might not be so lucky, but no, he is so lucky. And it's Breathe to fall instead.
How do LNG win that fight? The exhaust just about comes in from LNG.
Advances his way away. So,
run little tree. Yeah, he's sturdy enough in this case. Made of some old redwood from this one. Very, very sturdy. Dragon coming up in a minute 30, so that's not going to be necessarily the object right now, but the setup's important. Herald going down to mid lane, a couple of grubs to beat. Weibo, maybe looking to push in, try and take the full turret.
Herald down should be enough to secure it. And Light goes for the curtain call to make sure there's no defense possible. Shots are landed onto Carla, nearly snipes from the side, but Scout tanks it. Second charge in the mid lane as well. Fantastic little bit of sequence of play from Weibo. Lead for Light, and now the way that Weibo are playing these lanes out as well. Gala forced away in the mid lane. Instantly, the second there's a window, they threaten a dive.
Yeah, and they threaten the dive, they take the turret. They are giving up a dragon for this maybe. Are there teleports coming through? No real good wards behind them. We might see something just go onto that control ward there to your left.
Damage from Xiaohu. They're 2v3ing them right now as they go in. Okay, headbutt is enough to get the Drake, but can they survive? It's a kill for a Drake for now. Weiwei's trying to escape with his life. The root won't quite land, but Crisp is flanking. The recall from Scout just about gets him away, but this is a Drake for 2 kills in favor of Weibo.
Yeah, 07's in chat for Weiwei. A brave soldier falls at the hands of Weibo, and I guess luckily for LNG, this fight didn't happen just a few seconds later. Now,
delicate dance that has lost so many LPL team series before. They're trying to set up for Baron.
You as the resident top esports fan, even with the new emote for them too, the top esports Baron Platinum, there are memories there, folks. There are some dark magics being sighted here. Tarzan walking in 1v4, does get the steal.
Was it worth it? Yes, it was. He flashes away, and Chris gets a great engage to set up for Breathe. Not only do they get a red buff, they look for a fight as well. Breathe goes down. Every time Breathe gets an ult, he dies for it immediately. Zaka flies into the play, but Chris gets a double stun. The rune is there, and Xiaohu's got the damage. Fantastic turn from Weibo. Hung forced to flash. Shots coming through, but not finding their marks.
Sadly, the first delivery of the marker, but you're absolutely right. Breathe goes in for the big ult combo. We've seen a couple of times this game, though. The cannon does a lot of damage, but he doesn't necessarily end the fight, and cannon is not exactly the tankiest of lightning rats. Well, Zeri isn't either, really. Lightning rats aren't exactly the tankiest thing in general, but hey, doesn't exactly help them. Baron's going down now. Weibo did get that topside control. They're using it well.
Vision is there. Weiwei wants to try and get in, and Hung sets it up. But unfortunately, it's not enough. Weiwei will fall, outsmited by Tarzan and finished off by Xiaohu. It's beautiful. I mean, beautiful's maybe not the right word. Opt in or opt out, depending on how the ultimates go for them. Obviously, Breed, a little more committal with his ults, and, you know, some of those commitments perhaps overzealous. Although, to be honest, every single angle, I've thought he looked good as well. Light! Second time this game that he's overstepped, does survive once again. I've got to be honest, when we started the game calling him the safe hands of Weibo, I didn't expect these missteps.
Yeah, the light just flickers a little bit in the wind there. As a breeze comes in for Gala's bullet time. Does manage to get a summoner out.
Crisp? What just
right.
happened? Gala now getting aggressed on by Tarzan. Xiao trying to follow up. Hung defending his AD carry. Tarzan sent straight in towards him. Tarzan doesn't have damage. Weiwei chased on the other side of the fight, but it's golden. Xiao will finish the job on that one as he loses his jungler. Curtain call comes through. Hung has to use the unbreakable will. Will tank it up. The W goes slightly wide. They can't finish the job. This has gone from a clean game to I don't even know what is going on anymore.
That last play, you know, we were talking about improvisation. I'd like to use the example of Picasso. Picasso was an artist who knew the rules and knew when to break them. This is sometimes just like flinging the paint at the wall and seeing what art you get out of it at points. I'm not saying it's completely out there in terms of everything. Working its way out in the artistic sense. Weibo still, they have walked away with a 4,500 Baron power play. Despite that less than clean phase of play, they are very much in the lead. They are very much walking towards a dominant late game. Teleports in towards this dragon. Weibo have been a bit slow to set up for this because of the mess around that. Tarzan's not going to be that quick towards this dragon. LNG, they might just find themselves at another lightning rad experience.
Another round of improvisation so far. Breathe has been Michael Skarn, but Xiaohu creating some cool characters for himself. A 2v1. Phenomenal play coming out from the solo laners of Weibo. And that's a triple kill for Xiaohu off the back of a 2v1. And if that's not the last nail in the coffin, I don't know what is.
Hey, we did say that Weibo, LNG, they have always really given us a good show of best of fives, 5-game series over multiple years now between these two teams. The stories they tell themselves, the players facing off against ex-teammates. LNG dominated game 1, and Weibo returned the favor here.
Corki remains 100% win rate in this series as Weibo answer in game number 2, and Breathe finally gets an ult that he doesn't die for. Phenomenal stuff from Weibo to finish us out. It was off a bit of a flip on the Baron, but at the end of the day, they've done what is needed. Nexus Bear as LNG are trying to fight this one. It's still 5v3. Tarzan goes in to finish the job. Gala will fall, health bars low. Has been going. Both teams happy with that, but to be fair, whoever wins this one, or whoever loses this one, I suppose, maybe will change their mind on that one. Flash from Tarzan. He wants to deny anything from Weiwei. The red buff slowing, still level 1 on the Ivan, and Xiaohu flashes, but doesn't get the first blood.
Oh! He oversteps, of course, no tenacity at this point of the game. Probably won't get it in his entire build. Oh, he's hovering towards the side of the lane. Hung is.
Hung has flash to make the engage happen as well. There's the Zenith Blade, there's the stun, and a root caller to follow it up as well. Buster shot sets up for a kill for Hung. How is no carries getting the kills?
And you then get the Ivan shields on top of you. Oh, it feels so good. It feels so good in this game. And while you are going to have, you know, the Maokai ult and the Rel ult being big AoE engage, if the Leona is stood in front of that engage, Jin is going to struggle to cut through the Leona. I think Zeri's going to struggle to cut through that one, where the Breathe would essentially flash for an extra stun, but I don't think he would have had the kill threat. Now with Daisy summoned in bot side, Weibo. See that extra front line and the engage.
Engage from Crisp, but immediately the curtain call to finish it off. Xiaohu finally gets a kill, but Crisp has gone down. Tarzan jumping onto Gala. Xiaohu exhausted, so he can't finish the job. Light now chasing onto Scout as Hung tries to escape, but rooted, and Xiaohu's here to zap him down, to slow him up, so that Light can flash forwards to finish the job. Hung will fall, and Weibo find a fight.
Xiaohu gets the kill after that one too. So Weibo, they do walk away with another fight. It's fantastic game. Game 1 on the Vibe. You are not the Vibe this time. You can't get out like that. Zucker.
Flashes for the root. And there's the follow-up from Weiwei. Zucker sets it up. Fates breathe in. Breathe goes for the slicing maelstrom. And it moves in. And it looks like Weibo will gain control. Weiwei backed off from that one. Let's have this smite available as they move in to potentially snag away a 4th one. Hung trying to tank, but no. There's 3 grubs for Weibo. Can they survive the fight? No, root onto Chris, but he's just gone. That is not a tank at this point in the game. TTP, here's Breathe's chance to set himself apart. The exhaust is good, but the CC is enough. Hung goes down, but Zik is still going. Scout is still going. Breathe flashed away from, and will end up falling. Scout gonna chase it, and the Buster shot finishes the job.
So it is 3 grubs for Weibo, but at what cost? The ult's coming through. Don't think he'll kill Zucker. Stops the recall. really now going to have to be a battle to see how much value Zerka can get out of the gold he's got from these fights. Really, two items which work like that. You have tier items, then you have Rod of Ages. Rise builds both of these, so if you get early gold on Rise, it means even more to him than it does typically on other people. It means that your Rod stacks quicker, it means that your tier starts stacking quicker.
I was hoping for some Karthus, you know, some craziness. Instead, we've got full support from both junglers that played utility. We saw Weibo bring out that Vi earlier on in the series, and it looked fantastic for them. And it does feel like that is the trend that's going to continue for these two teams throughout the rest of this series.
Really like what LNG have done here. They're going into the bot jungle now. Rail Warp could come in.
Breathe takes a bit of damage, but the root comes in, and I mean, Hunk's going nowhere. Redemption. Weibo keeping his support alive for now. Bomb on the head of Chris. As it's a long fight, it's a drawn-out fight, but in the meantime, Zika's pushing the way of the day, you know? Nobody had a full set.
Missing a Joker card. Look, LNG, this is their comfort zone now, and I'm actually quite worried for Weibo. They're against the gold deficit. You have, you know, 6 stacks in the Rod of Ages.
Very much in control of the river, and they love to push that vision line even further, but Drake is the call. There is a ward in the Dragon Pit, so maybe there's some kind of play available from Tarzan, but the Drake's just going to be gone. The roots come in, and now a fight for Weibo. That's what they've got to look for. But LNG stands strong. They look for the engage themselves. Xiaohu locked up by the solar flare. Here comes Breathe once again, looking for Scout, but he doesn't have the damage. The redemption saves everyone as Chris looks for the follow-up engage, but he's down. Buster shot is there, and it's absolute carnage in the river. Blood flowing as Zika teleports out. True Shot Barrage hits too. Weibo trying to escape with his life, but he won't get rooted. As Gala over the wall, chasing the more as Tarzan flashed on by Zika. The damage is there, and Weibo gets the shield out, but the curtain call dramatic as one falls and Weibo survives. Tarzan down. Zika still alive.
It's blood on the ground. I don't think this is the battle of
LNG find their advantage and immediately pounce. Breathe on that top side of the play, but still 10 seconds until his ult is up. They can't contest. It's barren for LNG. He's got, oh sorry, not the Archangel, the Rod of Ages. He's got his Archangels online. He's headed towards his Zhonya's as well. I mean, Zuck has taken over.
Yeah, so if it was bad before, imagine what it's going to be like now. It's so hard to kill. He's got so much damage. And as you see, Weibo, I think Weibo have been too ready at trying to split the fight. I think they're afraid of taking a grouped-up fight against the Ivern and the Leona, because they don't want to just go straight down the middle into this hyper-tanky support with the Ivern shields. But they don't want to split too much either, because then there's Rise there. LNG have all the answers with this kind of gold on the Rise.
And it just doesn't feel like this Kennen is the answer that Weibo are touting it as, with the way that they're drafting such priority onto that top lane pick for Breathe, but it's not been working out. Now a chance for Breathe to show his quality. Won't quite find it. Scout still surviving. Redemption. Not enough. Maybe a chance for Weibo. The Xiaohu free firing, stacking up with the Zeri. Tarzan extends the fight, and a root comes in from Light as well. Xiaohu has to carry this one. Curtain call flies on in. Gala's taken over on the backside of the fight though, and somehow LNG are still in it. Gala goes for more as Xiaohu escapes.
Breathe very nearly rescues that play, manages to catch an over-pushing LNG just briefly. Weibo still have some damage to that extendo beam, doing a decent amount of work there. Tarzan still on the flank. Weibo, they don't want to let this one go. Dog with a bone, it feels like.
Finishes off a Serpent's Fang. He knows someone's got to deal with these shields.
And no, normally that would be the Rel's job. I wonder if that's a mistake, you know. I wonder if you drop too much damage when you need this. I think it has to come from Crisp at this point. Maybe you can clump people up enough. Maybe kill Weibo so he dies before he gets huge shields out. Catch up to Tarzan. That's not a great start.
Yeah, Tarzan not the guy that needs to be caught here. This is disaster for Weibo. It was already a tough game. But with him going down just as Baron spawns, that will be the objective, pretty much.
To mess up in situations like that, because we weren't seeing them in their fog of war. If you look at how shallow Weibo's vision is, though, it's so hard for them to play. And now you've got Ivern shields on people walking up with Bloodthirsters as well. It is a ton of shields for them. And yes, the Serpent's Fang, I guess it gets some value now, but I just don't think you're going to be able to kill them all the same. This push is so disgusting from LNG.
I mean, the thing is, Serpent's Fang, it'll do a bit to the shields, but even half of these shields is still an obnoxious amount of shields, to be honest. I still feel like he's getting value. That's going to be an in him. On the top side, TP behind enemy lines here. Breathe trying to get on the flank, but he's too late. The rest of the fight's already kicked off. Tarzan's gone again. Redemption comes on through, as Hung will survive for now. Exhaust Breathe pretty early on, but Breathe won't be able to survive long enough to ult. Xiaohu and Light, last two standing, and LNG have no interest in ending the game. They want to end the lives of the Weibo players chasing Xiaohu around the map. This will be at minimum triple in him.
Yeah, I think that could just be the game. I don't know whether Weibo can hold on to this. Yes, well, Light, he's going to go down. That'll seal it off. LNG, they do manage to pick themselves up the win. Zucker, we saw this champion from him in that last game, and we wanted more. This time, topically, he's rise to the occasion.
He certainly has. 6-0 and 5 with the counter pick. The cannon sent packing, and LNG put themselves on match point. It didn't feel like he was on form. It felt like both of them slumped.
Oh dear.
At a similar time. Xiaohu caught though and knocked straight into Hung's lance. Scout's going to be set up here for potentially first blood flash over the wall. Scout looking to chase. The stun is there. The laning phase looked good, but Scout's got buddies.
The Dope just over pushing a bit. He has done this occasionally too. It has been a stabilizing pick. It's a great pick for him mechanically. He's just not been connected with his team.
Wait, he's just going to stay in the mid lane. Scout gets the shield. It's not enough. It's not enough against Xiaohu. Finds the solo kill. 2v1. Bottom side. They already got the first 3 grubs of the game as well. This would be both neutrals to start off for Weibo, which is a pretty fantastic start for them. Scout's moving over. Gala's here as well. Weiwei is trying to get here as fast as he can, but Tarzan just dying to the Drake in the meantime. He does get that dragon. Scout gets out with his life. There's an ult though onto Hung, and Weiwei locked up as well. 2 for Light. Weibo will be happy with that one.
They absolutely will be. Getting Varus some extra gold too means that he can be a bit more oppressive heading into mid-game as well. LNG lose the Dragon. I think even Chris is going to be able to stop the back here. This is nice. Weibo have 3 grubs. Scout has to recall. As long as he lives, that could be... that's the problem there. It's great because it allows Xiaohu to hit...
It's happy to... Sorry, Nash's... I don't know what it is. Wits End and Nash's Tooth are just one item in my head. I can't ever get the names right. It's been years at this point. Gala forced the flash in the mid lane by Xiaohu. As a calling over the wall as well is pretty good, and Xiaohu dives in to finish his old teammate. They won MSIs together, but it's not enough to save him. And Crisp has been completely abandoned by his mid laner. Maybe he can execute when the roots are coming in. There's nowhere to go. Drops the ward, at least it's something to answer for his death.
I was actually wondering if he should just literally just stay there and take a while to die. He's going to take a while to die anyway. Alright, Gala's going to head on over. Wait, but what are they doing with this time? The thing is, your time is really valuable as a jungler. Crisp is taking such an obnoxiously long amount to go down. It means that Tarzan gets to go towards top side. Tarzan might actually... Guys, Tarzan's ganking top. This could lead to something up here.
That was absolutely absurd. Crisp survived so long. And now, Zucker in a 2v1, Seer goes wide, there's a burn there. And like, I guess already used Chain of Corruption earlier in the play.
Might's buff, 5 might be a bit difficult, might be Weiwei coming over in time for a smite beyond that point. We'll see exactly how that works out. First one goes down, Tarzan still has smite, likely 5.
5 grubs for Weibo, Hung jumps in to try and punish it, but the flash comes through, and now Crisp is here. He's back for more once again as Weiwei chased down. It's a good Magna Storm from Hung, but no follow-up so far. Gala has to be the one to carry, but Zika jumps into the mix and gets one for himself. Gala forced away. Weibo with another fight.
Weibo get themselves a fight, and they get the grubs.
Potentially for Weibo, or at least an attempt.
I think because Xiaohu had no flash, Scout did. Scout was wondering whether he could shunt him back into his teammates. Couldn't quite get that. Breathe pulls the all-out.
Zika's already losing trades against Cassante pretty early on into this one. Level 11 for Breed, that's a Q3, that's Zika, so chunked to Breed! He makes it look easy in the top lane, absolutely smashes Zika.
Play from even, and now essentially even just behind the top lane of Weibo. That's a big problem. Weibo get themselves the second dragon. They use that 5 grubs to get this tower in the bot lane, and suddenly that 1 kill in the top lane.
We've not talked about that much is Tarzan consistently invading on this bottom side. It's like a 40 CS gap in the jungle for Tarzan. He grabs that blue buff again. That will be a tower.
It's gonna get worse, Joe, because you got 5 grubs and a herald. They are accelerating buffs. They're win harder buffs. You get the grubs and you hit towers, it really starts making a difference. It's not as easy to play around as the herald. LNG looking to death push, maybe scout. Does have the flash, does have a result. We might look for a big sweep.
Here come the roots, and in they go. Hung with a magnet storm. Can scout get into the action? True shot barrage is fantastic, and it's 2 for LNG. But there's the explosion. Tarzan's going to go down as well. LNG find their moment. They punish over aggression.
Weibo
To go up against with Drake spawning. It's Infernal Soul this game as well, and that'll be soul point for Weibo.
easily done. So LNG, they need to be really careful.
It is all about that damage. It's not something LNG can afford to lose, and they know it. They start onto Breathe as Crisp is chunked as well. Good CC chain, but they don't have that much damage just yet. Breathe gets onto Gala in the mix of 4 people. Gala still chunked and goes down. What is that from Breathe? Zika trying to threaten on the top side of the fight as it's now a 4v4. LNG need this Drake. They have to take this objective, but Weibo, they don't want to let them. So they continue to tussle for this one. Weibo tanking the Drake. Look at the combo onto the Azir, but he turns golden. Holding the arrow is light, but dodged by Scout. 3k on the Drake as Weibo still in the scene. Zika jumps into the action, and the Drake is secured. Zika goes down as Tarzan turns golden. Scout still going, but obliterated by Tarzan, and Xiaohu finding more.
The kills
from Gala. It's a great shot with the True Shot Barrage. It's not good enough to kill Tarzan.
Weibo has no flash, he can't get over.
Wait, no flash. Oh my god, it's gone. It's gone. It's Baron for Weibo, and LNG have to respond now. Roots come on through. Breathe takes a little chunk from Gala, but Gala don't want to get too close again. We saw what happened last time. Breathe dashes to his teammates. I think Weibo pretty much just got away with this one scot-free, culling out from Xiaohu. Not a single pick here. Tarzan now aggressed upon, but Hung can't close the gap. Weibo, they get away with it without a single casualty.
Can't believe it. I cannot believe it. Scout escapes the arrow there as well. Zucker actually gets a really good play into the backline, which ends up getting some damage down, but it's just kind of beyond the Renekton power spike. It's much harder.
They look to break down the final tier 2 of LNG's base. And LNG, we talked about their scaling. Well, they've got 3 items on Azir, on Ezreal. I feel like they're
kind of starting to shuffle in that midway.
Gala up against his old teammates as well, and it is LNG just muscling their way towards the Drake. Here Tarzan moves in, but the Drake is taken, and Tarzan chunked as well. Gala getting massive damage out in this fight, and Crisp is gonna fall. This is huge for LNG. The series on the line for Weibo. Match point for LNG. They find the Drake, they find a pick, and they look to snowball for more. Gala getting in for the damage, and here comes Scout on his classic pick. Light pushed away, and Zika puts him into the dirt. Breathe finds one, and there's the damage to the brand. Zika burns to pieces, and somehow Weibo have held on.
Weibo don't get the dragon setup they want, but they do.
From Breathe, kind of making up for perhaps a bit of mispositioning at the start of the play. That is a very deep TP from Breathe. He's spotted, everybody knows he's here. Xiaohu with a culling onto Gala. That'll get Breathe out, and it'll set up for a fight win for Weibo with Gala down, chunked, has to heal off of the Krugs.
Weibo has no flash again, they can just take this.
True Shot Barrage in, Tarzan takes the Baron as Weibo is caught out by Xiaohu. It's Weibo taking 2, taking Baron, and looking to take the game.
Zucker's in the bot lane, but it doesn't matter. You've just lost the Baron. Yes, it's an objective ban here. Once again, LNG, without a flash on their jungler, playing for the red side. Baron, retake of the pit, can't do anything. He can't get into the pit. Weibo find the smite easy as you like, and they get themselves a huge play here with the kill onto Weiwei and Hung. There's very little frontline. LNG can't defend the towers.
Zika with a classic tier 1 for game trade. It's a controversial strategy. We'll see if it
with all the towers and inhibitors lost.
And I gotta say, the last couple of times I've not really favoured LNG to get that Infernal Drake. They are on 2 Infernals at this point. It's gonna keep on stacking if they can find more of those objectives. Gala waits to try and dodge the Zenith blade, but just gets hit by a Q, so that's his cleanse gone. There's his E, and Gala is screwed. What a pick by Crisp. What a blunder by Gala.
LNG were desperate. They wanted to get towards the dragon, but they leave Gala out of position. Well, Gala leaves himself out of position. With that, the last dying breath of the Baron buff. I think Weibo might have just brought us the Silver Scrapes.
we're going the distance today. That's the third inhib down. Baron still just for 5 seconds, but 5 seconds might just be enough. Chain of Corruption on the backline, but Zhonya's keeps him alive. Weibo trying to get into the backside themselves. Zika finds one. Xiaohu down. Is it enough? Scout has to go huge. He has to carry. In goes Zika. Forces a GA. Tarzan still surviving on the backside of Scout. Is here to finish the job. They might just hold on. LNG trying, but Breathe has had enough, and he'll make LNG take their very last breath. It's going to 5. Breathe has made sure of it as he hammers onto the Nexus, but here comes Gala. Is he tanky enough? Breathe down, Nexus alive. Wait,
Breathe no more. Minions to strike! Oh my god, the Minions can't quite do it! They stay alive, but at what cost? 3 inhibs! This is now a PvE League of Legends!
Full on tap.
Does look like Weibo, they will get themselves Infernal Soul. Look, LNG, they do survive, but, I mean, they're missing like organs at this point.
It wasn't enough for Weibo. Gala, maybe he could be the one to save the day. He was the one that lost him that bot lane inhib. He's getting some good poke down. Scout drops a tower as well.
Crisp has Warmogs, but he's not in there just yet. Solar Flare misses, as is the Zenith Blade. Here comes the Markyle.
Breathe isolated, but he's so tanky, and Hung's just going to go down. Scout dashes to safety. Such trying to threaten onto the back line. It's big damage, but it's not enough to finish the kills. Tarzan dodges the Mystic shot. That could have been huge from Gala. He eats in and has to flash back out. Breathe tanking all the while as Weiwei falls, and Gala just can't finish his targets. Another Mystic shot, but it's not enough to finish off Xiaohu, and Weibo with 5 standing might just finish the job. Gala gets 1, Gala gets 2. Breathe onto the Nexus once again, but this time
Sion into Ash Braum, because you dive into the Braum, we puts up the shield, tanks up your ult, and then you just get slowed by that passive. And so
turns me into a liar as he finishes off his Kraken Slayer.
Well, it's still first, it's just slightly beyond that. You're not quite live just yet. Be kind to yourself, Joe. It's been a long series for both these teams. We're going to have to spare ourselves some sympathy just yet. We're going to have to save our energy and our brains, I suppose, for later on. Dive coming in towards the Sion. He is probably dead.
No brain left, only engage. Sucker gonna be the target, and he will go down. Breathe even allows it over to Tarzan. Everyone knows that Tarzan is the carry.
Now, more important, remember, folks, if you are cross-mapping and you have grubs, you have the advantage. You kill towers quicker. LNG, yes, they get that time on bot side, but they're losing out in mid lane and in top lane at the same time. So LNG have said, all right, Scout, buddy, you're on the Corki, 14-game win streak in LPL playoffs, but giving the resources over to that Corki, is it going to be the same with giving him 2 turrets over in a fell swoop?
It's like a very rough game for LNG at this point, and I want you to kind of reiterate to me the win conditions for LNG, because it feels like, well, I'm going to have to hold that thought. Yes, I tried to open up a conversation. It's caused action. Crisp on the front line. He's tanky, but not tanky enough. And there's one for LNG already. Xiaohu caught and finished off. That's a shutdown for Scout. As Gala in a 1v1 with Light. He's not winning, but a swirl seed could change it. Volley hits onto
Flashes the volley.
Scout moves in, but can't quite finish the kill. And there we go. That's the answer. LNG, they find 2 kills. Yeah.
No, so Dragon comes up. We did say, hey, maybe the Herald will be put down as a counterweight. There's no contest, they don't have to use that. They still have the Herald to use somewhere. Maybe they just put it towards bot lane now. There's a chance that it goes towards that. We get ourselves a Mountain Dragon. You know what? That could really work out for LNG at some point. Zucker can ult away from this tower. He might have to. You don't really want... Yeah, this could be a bit of an issue. Just ult away. Don't get Braum stunned. Gets his way through that. Weibo do have the 5 grubs. Use that Herald. They put it towards bot lane, and that'll be the last of the outer turrets taken. There's a goal into Xiaohu to even it up between him and Scout.
Not shooting them.
Not use them.
Weibo shot, I think, 1 arrow all game long. Just saving that as a tool should they need it. And there we go. Chunk onto Weiwei. Crisp happy to tank up the initial engage from Hung. And there's the arrow setting up onto Hung. Stun follows it up and a spear to finish the job. Breathe diving into the mix to tank for his team, but flashes over the wall and survives. Weiwei chunked low. Drake up onto the map. This should be Weibo on soul point.
When we talked about the win conditions, this is what we highlighted. Weibo wants to just make sure the engage doesn't reach the backline, peel back and kill him. That's exactly what happens. Xiaohu wasn't there, Scout wasn't there, it was a 4v4, but the important thing is the Ash Braum was there. Such an obnoxious combo, and Hung can't escape from it as soon as he's brought himself in too deep. Weibo would be something you can kill this champion through. The extra damage comes through. It only leads to the 1 kill, but this is not the kind type of fight they want.
They can get through the Braum shield. We didn't see how it happened. But Chris, Baron is that. I feel like that would maybe be a bit too risky.
Oh, he just walked up and fired a Q, and then walked into a Corki and died, I guess. Too far from his teammates, and Scout goes over the Valkyrie over the wall.
Is still on cooldown from that previous pick as well. LNG muscling their way into the river. As the spears, the volleys, all flying on through. Plenty for LNG to have to dodge. Similar story the other way, though, now that Weibo have to try and face check into the river themselves. Zika there to be that front line. This is where these AD carries have to come on through. LNG getting through this Drake, and I think it might just go without a contest. There's the Drake. Can they escape, though? TP coming on through his way, trying to get asleep, trying to keep his team alive. Chris tanking up on that front line. Unbreakable, insane value in the fight as Breed gets onto Scout as well. Zika trying to chase onto Light, but he can't find the 1v1 this time. Double kill for Light, and Weibo looks to Baron.
Weibo getting the kills again, but much like that last buff, this might work out for them, but, well, that might be a tough ask against Weibo, pushing in all lanes with the Baron buff buffing up the minions.
And part of the consequence there was that Breed actually finished
Weibo have themselves that Baron buff. How much can they get out of this, though? They did manage to take the bot lane in a turret. Gala has a Bloodthirster, so he's actually happy tanking the wave in. He gets to keep it away from the turret. Now they go for the engage. Okay, it's onto Chris, though. That's not what you need.
It's not that tanky. He does get knocked up. Light looking to finish the job, and he'll do so. And now Zika locked up as well. What was that from LNG? Zika flashes to safety. Breathe on the other side of the wall will finish the job. Double kill for Light. I think that Red Buff finished the kill in the end. And Weibo have just been gifted the end of the game on a silver platter. Xiaohu pushing in the bot side while Weibo win a 4v5 elsewhere. LNG just lose their minds when it matters the most. After 5 games, after all this, that's how the series ends.
LNG in front of their home crowd might have just seen their frontline players completely forget what Braum Ash does as they walk into their dooms. Weibo, they find themselves the crack in the dam and the water keeps flowing.
I cannot believe this is how the series ends, but Weibo looking on the brink to make their way through the lower bracket. They get a second opportunity and they look towards Top Esports with glee in their eyes. Weibo take LNG down.